Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a family is seeking justice after a deadly crash that police say was caused by a drunk driver. And Governor Andy Beshear hosted a Team Kentucky update sharing progress on Eastern Kentucky's high ground communities.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, Mountain family. Happy Thursday to you. I'm Amelia Lee here on this August 14th. It is 6:30 this morning and time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at that weather on this foggy, hot, gross day.
Pretty accurate, yeah. It's a hot and foggy start to your day. Here's what you can expect as you're heading out the door this morning. Temperatures are going to be in the 60s and 70s, mainly those upper 60s. Even seeing 76 degrees in Monticello this morning, and then this afternoon is just going to be hotter. We're looking at the mid to upper 80s, and then the 90s take over as we're heading into tomorrow and the weekend. Now, in terms of that fog, we are still combating that fog this morning with the densest fog pretty much everywhere. Throw a dart at the board, you're going to have some dense fog this morning. Just drive carefully if you are heading out and encountering any low visibility, but we are nice and clear in terms of the rain chances this morning. Just seeing some scattered showers and storms as we're heading into the afternoon hours. Amelia.
2 people are dead after a crash in Harlan County. The Harlan County Coroner's Office says it happened just after noon yesterday at the intersection of Highway 421 and 119 in the Baxter community. The Harlan County Deputy Coroner confirmed that Phyllis Frazier of New Tazewell, Tennessee, and Franklin Zaylor Jr. of Baxter were killed in the crash. Another person involved was taken to Harlan ARH. No word on their condition, and that crash is still under investigation. People in Middlesboro are still fighting for justice for 17-month-old Elena Hembry. She died 2 years ago. Her mother, Erica Lawson, was recently sentenced to 20 years in prison in relation to her death. As we reported last week, Harvey Gallahan was also charged in connection to the toddler's death, with the abuse of Hembry reportedly happening in his home and in his presence. I spoke with folks who say they want more than a plea deal for Gallahan.
If that were your child, your cousin, your sister, would you not want the community to come out and fight for her and for her to receive true justice? I know I would.
Advocates tell me they want true justice for baby Elena after her mother, Erica Lawson, pled guilty to murder and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Now Harvey Gallahan works toward a possible plea deal in connection to Elena's death.
Elena didn't get any type of leniency, so I don't think he deserves it.
After Gallahan's pretrial conference last week, WYMT spoke with Commonwealth's attorney Mike Taylor, who says Gallahan's testimony played a key role in the conviction of Lawson.
Had it not been for that, we wouldn't have been able to get the conviction that we got.
Justin Howard has been advocating for Elena since her death. He wants Gallahan to go to trial and face a jury of his peers.
He caused her pain that I can't imagine. So I think that he deserves to sit on death row. Think about what he done.
Howard says he and folks in Middlesboro will not accept a compromise in the death of Elena Hembry.
I'm afraid that if Mr. Gallahan gets this plea agreement, he'll be back out on the streets of Middlesboro, and we may have another Elena.
A candlelight vigil is being hosted for Hembry on Friday night at 6:30 at the Middlesboro City parking lot. And we do have more details about her case on our website, WYMT.com. A family is seeking justice after a deadly crash that police say was caused by a drunk driver. The crash happened August 1st in Laurel County. Benita Vickers died after police say she was hit by that drunk driver. 54-year-old Kimberly Hedrick was behind the wheel. Police say she admitted to drinking alcohol before the crash. Vickers' daughter is now trying to get used to life without her mom.
She was the spunkiest woman you would have ever met, but she had a true servant's heart. She loved people, and she loved to care for people.
Hedrick was taken to the Laurel County Jail, where she posted a $50,000 cash bond. A grand jury is expected to hear her case in September. Well, we are getting our first look at body camera footage from the arrest of a Kentucky lottery winner. Pinellas County, Florida deputies released video showing $167 million Powerball winner James Farthing kicking an officer during a bar fight back in April. He was charged with battery of a law enforcement officer, resisting arrest, and violating parole. Authorities say witnesses reported Farthing was bragging about being a millionaire before the fight.
The guy with the tats was trying to fight everybody. He ripped the dude's shirt over here. He don't want to do nothing. He was basically trying to fight everybody in the bar.
Farthing has pleaded not guilty and is due in court in September. We are learning now, last month, Jackson police cited him for speeding in Breathitt County. Well, heavy rain across parts of Tennessee is causing some problems. The weather has claimed 4 lives in Chattanooga. Officials say a mother, father, and child were killed when a tree fell on their car. It happened in the Chattanooga suburb of East Ridge just after midnight yesterday. Over half a foot of rain fell across portions of Chattanooga, causing widespread flash flooding. Another man's body was found after he was swept away by floodwaters. Some drivers were trapped in their cars due to high water. Dozens had to be removed from their homes, and a state of emergency was declared in Hamilton County. Well, every year here in Kentucky, heavy rain brings the nightmare of possible flooding. Insurance experts say about 5% of homeowners in the U.S. have flood insurance. They say just 2 inches of water can cause more than $30,000 in damage. In most cases, people who live in a flood zone or near water are required by their mortgage company or bank to have that flood insurance. Those experts say it's also important to take precaution ahead of any severe weather.
Storing things like on a pallet or something now raises it, the 3-4 inches that are off the floor, because a lot of the floods, it's 1, 2, 3 inches of water.
And it's not just your home that can be flooded. Your vehicle can also be at risk. Be sure to check with your vehicle insurance company to see if flooding is covered in your policy. Well, Governor Andy Beshear hosted a Teen Kentucky update yesterday. He shared progress on eastern Kentucky's high ground communities meant to keep flood survivors out of harm's way. 8 sites are expected to provide more than 500 new affordable homes. In that county, a $7.5 million contract will extend the access road and add new streets at Chestnut Ridge, which will eventually have 175 homes. There's also work underway in Floyd, Perry, and Letcher counties, with some families already moving in.
We've come a long way. What began as an ambitious idea that I think we may have drawn on a napkin to build entire neighborhoods out of the floodplain where people would have access to services they need, to not just rebuild where we were, but to try to solve a very difficult problem and provide people the safety they deserve, is now becoming a reality.
The governor says road work at Chestnut Ridge should be done late next year, and paving and sidewalk work is set to wrap up in October. Well, some girls who were gifted dolls after Hurricane Helene last year are now returning that kindness. Over the weekend, they packed up dolls for girls impacted by the recent flooding in Texas. The girls packed up more than 40 dolls on Sunday. The initiative is called Mountain Heirlooms. The founder says it's all about kindness and healing.
The main thing that we're just trying to do here is that we're not done in trying to help the girls in Western North Carolina heal. This takes a long time. Healing takes a long time. And I think that by having them have their story matter, but also to be able to be giving and to do something that makes them feel like they're part of something. I mean, they're part of over 300 girls here who've been through the storm together. And that makes them part of something. And now they're going to say to these girls, you're now part of what we went through. And I want all these children to take with them tonight, our story mattered. We did something.
The girls' mothers also pitched in by writing cards of encouragement to the mothers in Texas. Well, the University of Pikeville organized its second of 3 move-in days yesterday, preparing to bring the Bears back to campus. Students are moving back ahead of the fall semester, with the student athletes already moved in and some of the upperclassmen filling up their dorms early yesterday. U-Pike Public Safety Director Lee Upchurch says the move-in process was broken up into parts to avoid too much traffic congestion and welcome students safely. But drivers should be cautious of the change in traffic patterns next week.
Next week, that's our big one. That's the one where all the freshmen are coming on campus that are not part of athletics, and they've never been here before except for doing a tour or something like that. So obviously we want to try to give them as much grace as possible.
The final move-in day will take place next Tuesday. Officials say portions of some roads will be closed, so drivers are asked to use caution as students settle in. You can see more information on our website. Well, traffic also picked up around Eastern Kentucky University in Richmond yesterday morning as the class of 2029 moved into campus housing. 2,700 freshmen spent the day unpacking, meeting roommates, and settling into their new home at EKU. President and Johnson County native David McFadden welcomed students and parents, saying campus housing is nearly 99% full. He says this year brings a new My EKU app and a lower out-of-state tuition rate cut by more than 40%.
We're going to really care for them. We're going to make sure it is a safe place for them, and they're going to get a world-class education.
The Big E Welcome series of events runs through the weekend with classes starting up on Monday. And if you've not gotten your flu shot for the upcoming fall season, you'll have a chance to get one at the fair. The Kentucky Association of Health Plans clinic has become a staple at the fair. For the last 5 years, they've given out flu shots to those who stop by the booth. If you do get a flu shot, you'll have a chance to win a Kroger gift card.
We're looking at that sunrise this morning, but that fog has limited the amount that we can see out of the tower cam in Hazard. But take a look towards Buffalo Mountain, a wonderful start to your day. We're looking at that valley fog this morning, and a lot of folks out there in the mountains are experiencing that low visibility, so just drive safe as you're heading out the door. Here's kind of a look at what we're expecting as we go through the next little bit. That'll start to clear as the sun warms up the ground heading into the later hours of your morning. But we are nice and clear in terms of rain. There's the good news there. We do have chances for scattered showers returning into the afternoon, but temperatures will be hot. We're talking mid to upper 80s. So here's what you need to know as you're heading out the door this morning. Again, fog is going to be something you have to deal with, but temperatures will be in the upper 60s and low 70s. And on the way back home from school, you're going to see temperatures in the mid 80s. Amelia.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Mountain News this morning at 6:42. A farmer's market that offers shoppers the opportunity to pay what they can. A look at the growing concept and how it's connecting more people to fresh produce.
Travel